With the history of the world, not only football, he is more than a player. An icon of all time is not only encapsulated in football. A father, a husband of dreams and dreams, an icon of hair fashion tattoos, an ideal role model, a craze with young people around the world. And of course, the biggest idol with many girls, thanks to him that women watch more football. Many people who know nothing about football can remember and clearly read his name, a player, a superstar influence on the world. He is the player that fans like Man United love the most, not only because of his handsome appearance, but also because of his lavish romantic style on the pitch. One of Man United's legendary sevens and the Premier League, a midfielder with nice centimeter passes and classic fencing free kicks. Let's take a look at David Beckham's career. David Robert Joseph Beckham was born on the 2nd of May 1975 in Leytonstone, London, England. He is the son of Sandra Georgina née West, in 1949, a hairdresser, and David Edward Allen Ted Beckham b. Edmonton, London, 1948, a kitchen fitter. The couple married in 1969 in the London borough of Hackney. He was given the middle name Robert in honor of Bobby Charlton, his father's favorite footballer. He has an older sister, Lynn Georgina, and a younger sister, Joan Louise. He attended Chingford County High School in Nevin Drive, Chingford. In a 2007 interview, Beckham said that at school, whenever the teachers asked, "What do you want to do when you're older?" I'd say, "I want to be a footballer." And they'd say, "No, what do you really want to do for a job?" But that was the only thing I ever wanted to do. Beckham's maternal grandfather was Jewish, and Beckham has referred to himself as half Jewish and wrote in his autobiography, "I've probably had more contact with Judaism than with any other religion." In his book, Both Feet on the Ground, Beckham stated, because that was the only way he could play football for their team. His parents were fanatical Manchester United supporters who frequently traveled 200 miles 320 km to Old Trafford from London to attend the team's home matches. David inherited his parents' love of Manchester United, and his main sporting passion was football. He attended one of Bobby Charlton's soccer schools in Manchester and won the chance to take part in a training session with Barcelona as part of a talent competition. He played for a local youth team called Ridgeway Rovers, which was coached by his father, Stuart Underwood, and Steve Kirby. Beckham was a Manchester United mascot for a match against West Ham United in 1986. Young Beckham had trials with his local club Leyton Orient, Norwich City, and attended Tottenham Hotspur's School of Excellence, though never represented the club in a match. During a 2-year period in which Beckham played for Brimsdown Rovers youth team, he was named Under 15 Player of the Year in 1990. He also attended Bradenton Preparatory Academy, but signed schoolboy forms at Manchester United on his 14th birthday, and subsequently signed a youth training scheme contract on the 8th of July 1991. Beckham was a late developer and not selected to represent the England schoolboys team primarily on account of his small size. Having signed for Manchester United as a trainee on the 8th of July 1991, Beckham was part of a group of young players, including Ryan Giggs, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Nicky Butt, and Paul Scholes, who were coached by Eric Harrison, and helped the club win the FA Youth Cup in May 1992. Beckham scored Manchester United's second goal in the 30th minute of their 3-1 first leg win of the final against Crystal Palace on the 14th of April 1992. In the second leg on the 15th of May, Beckham played a full 90 minutes of the fixture, which ended 32 in favor of Manchester United and 63 on aggregate. Beckham's impact led to a first-team debut on the 23rd of September 1992 as a substitute for Andre Kanchelskis in a League Cup match against Brighton and Hove Albion. Shortly afterwards, Beckham signed as a professional on the 23rd of January 1993. Manchester United again reached the final of the FA Youth Cup, where they faced Leeds United. The first leg was played on the 10th of May 1993, where Beckham started in Manchester United's 20-home loss but was replaced by substitute Robbie Savage. In the second leg on the 13th of May 1993, Beckham played the full 90 minutes of Manchester United's 21 defeat, which gave Leeds United a 41 aggregate score. Beckham also received honours with the club's reserve team when the squad won the league in 1994. In September 1994, Beckham made his first full appearance in the club's first team against Port Vale in a League Cup fixture. On the 7th of December 1994, Beckham made his UEFA Champions League debut, scoring a goal in a 4-0 victory at home to Galatasaray in the final game of the group stage. Despite the victory, however, they finished third out of 4 in their group, behind Barcelona. Beckham then went to Preston North End on loan for part of the 1994-95 season to get some first-team experience. He impressed, scoring 2 goals in 5 appearances, notably scoring directly from a corner kick. Beckham returned to Manchester and made his Premier League debut for Manchester United on the 2nd of April 1995 in a goalless draw against Leeds United. He played 4 times for United in the league that season, as they finished second behind Blackburn Rovers, missing out on a 3rd successive Premier League title by a single point. He was not in the squad for the FA Cup final with Everton. United manager Sir Alex Ferguson had a great deal of confidence in the club's young players. Beckham was part of a group of young talents Ferguson brought into United in the 1990s known as Fergie's fledglings, which included Nicky Butt and Gary and Phil Neville. When experienced players Paul Ince, Mark Hughes, and Andrei Kanchelskis left the club after the end of the 1994-95 season, his decision to let youth team players replace them instead of buying star players from other clubs United had been linked with moves for players including Darren Anderton, Mark Overmars, and Roberto Baggio, but no major signings were made that summer, drew a great deal of criticism. The criticism increased when United started the season with a 3-1 defeat at Aston Villa, with Beckham scoring United's only goal of the game. However, United recovered from this early season defeat and the young players performed well. Beckham swiftly established himself as United's right-sided midfielder rather than a right winger in the style of his predecessor Andrei Kanchelskis and helped them to win the Premier League title and FA Cup double that season, scoring the winner in the semi-final against Chelsea and also providing the corner from which Eric Cantona scored in the FA Cup final. Beckham's first title medal had, for a while, looked like it would not be coming that season, as United were still 10 points adrift of leaders Newcastle United at the turn of the new year, but Beckham and his teammates had overhauled the Tyneside at the top of the league by mid-March, and they remained top until the end of the season. Despite playing regularly and to a consistently high standard for Manchester United, Beckham did not break into the England squad before Euro 1996. At the beginning of the 1996-97 season, Beckham was given the number 10 shirt that had most recently been worn by Mark Hughes. On the 17th of August 1996, the first day of the Premier League season, Beckham became something of a household name when he scored a spectacular goal in a match against Wimbledon. With United leading 20, Beckham noticed that Wimbledon's goalkeeper Neil Sullivan was standing a long way out of his goal and hit a shot from the halfway line 57 yards out that floated over the goalkeeper and into the net. His goal celebration saw him raise his arms and walk away smiling rather than run as he often would. In a UK poll conducted by Channel 4 in 2002, the British public voted the goal no. 18 in the list of the 100 greatest sporting moments. In a 2016 Sky Sports poll, it was ranked the best opening day goal in Premier League history. During the 1996-97 season, Beckham became an automatic first-choice player at Manchester United, helping them to retain the Premier League title, and was voted PFA Young Player of the Year by his peers. Prior to the 1997-98 season, Beckham inherited the number 7 shirt, a number previously worn by such United greats as George Best and Eric Cantona. Manchester United started the season well, but erratic performances in the second half of the season saw United assists in the league with 13, while his 9 Premier League goals included a free kick from the edge of the 18-yard box against Manchester United's arch-rivals Liverpool at Anfield. In the 9th Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League, a unique feat in English football. There had been speculation that the criticism that he had received after being sent off in the World Cup would lead to him leaving England. but Beckham decided to stay at Manchester United. To ensure they would win the Premier League title, United needed to win their final league match of the season at home to Tottenham. There were reports suggesting that the opposition would allow themselves to be beaten to prevent their local rivals Arsenal from retaining the title, but Tottenham took an early lead in the match. Beckham scored the equalizer with a curling strike from 12 yards out after receiving the ball on the right side of the penalty area, placing the ball into the top left corner of the goal. United went on to win the match 21 in the league. Beckham played in central midfield in United's win over Bayern Munich in the 1999 UEFA Champions League final, as United's first-choice center midfielders Paul Scholes and Roy Keane were suspended for the match. United were losing the match 10 at the end of normal time, but won the trophy by scoring 2 goals in injury time. Both of the goals came from corners taken by Beckham. Those crucial assists, coupled with, led to him finishing runner-up to rival Doe for 1999's European Footballer of the Year and FIFA World Player of the Year awards. By the early 2000s, the relationship between Ferguson and Beckham had begun to deteriorate, possibly as a result of Beckham's fame and commitments away from football. In 2000, Beckham was given permission to miss training to look after his son Brooklyn, who had gastroenteritis, but Ferguson was furious when Victoria Beckham was photographed at a London Fashion Week event on the same night, claiming that Beckham would have been able to train if Victoria had looked after Brooklyn that day. He responded by fining Beckham the maximum amount that was permitted 2 weeks' wages, then £50,000, and dropping him for a crucial match against United's rivals Leeds United. He later criticized Beckham for this in his autobiography, claiming he had not been fair to his teammates. Beckham had a good season for his club, though, and helped United to win the Premier League by a record margin. He was never a problem until he got married. He used to go into work with the academy coaches at night time. He was a fantastic young lad. Getting married into that entertainment scene was a difficult thing from that moment. His life was never going to be the same. He is such a big celebrity, football is only a small part. Alex Ferguson speaking about Beckham's marriage in 2007. He was a key player in United's 3rd successive league title in 2001, only the 4th time that any club had achieved 3 league titles in a row. He scored 9 Premier League goals and had the most assists in the league with 12. On the 10th of April 2002, Beckham was injured during a Champions League match against Deportivo La Coruña, breaking the 2nd metatarsal bone in his left foot. There was speculation in the British media that the injury might have been caused deliberately, as the player who had injured Beckham was Argentine Aldo Duscher, and England and Argentina were due to meet in that year's World Cup. The injury prevented Beckham from playing for United for the rest of the season, and they missed out on the Premier League title, to Arsenal also being knocked out of the Champions League by Bayer Leverkusen on away goals in the semi-finals. But he signed a 3-year contract in May, following months of negotiations with the club, mostly concerning extra payments for his image rights. The income from his new contract and his many endorsement deals made him the highest paid player in the world at the time. Despite the season being curtailed with injury, 2001-2 was one of Beckham's best seasons as a United player. He scored 16 goals in all competitions, the best of his career. Following an injury early in the 2002-3 season, Beckham was unable to regain his place on the Manchester United team, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer having replaced him on the right side of midfield. His relationship with his manager deteriorated further on the 15th of February 2003 when, in the changing room following an FA Cup defeat to Arsenal, a furious Alex Ferguson threw or kicked a boot that struck Beckham over the eye, causing a cut that required stitches. The incident led to a great deal of transfer speculation involving Beckham, with bookmakers offering odds on whether he or Ferguson would be first to leave the club. Although the team had started the season badly, their results improved greatly from December onwards and they won the league, with Beckham managing a total of 11 goals. He was still a first-choice player for England, however, and in the Queen's birthday honours list he was appointed an OBE for services to football on the 13th of June 2003. As the summer 2003 transfer window approached, Manchester United appeared keen to sell Beckham to Barcelona, and the two clubs even announced that they reached a deal for Beckham's transfer. But instead he joined reigning Spanish champions Real Madrid for €37 million on a 4-year contract. Beckham was the latest signing in the Galacticos era of global stars signed by club president Florentino Perez every summer. The news came as a bitter blow to the newly elected Barcelona president Joan Laporta, who based much of his presidential campaign on signing Beckham. Though announced in mid-June, the transfer was completed on the 1st of July 2003, making him the third Englishman to play for the club, after Laurie Kenningham and Steve McManaman. Following a successful medical on the 2nd of July, Beckham was unveiled in front of 500 accredited journalists from 25 countries at Real's basketball facility, where he was handed the famous white shirt by club legend Alfredo Di Stefano. Although Beckham had worn the number 7 shirt for Manchester United and England, he was unable to wear it at Madrid as it was assigned to club captain Raul. He decided to wear number 23 instead, citing his admiration of basketball player Michael Jordan, who also wore the number 23 shirt, as the reason behind his decision. On sales of Beckham-related merchandise following his arrival at Real, an Adidas spokesman stated, "Put Beckham's name on any product and Real Madrid didn't stop selling." During the season, Beckham established football academies in Los Angeles and East London and was named a judge for the 2006 British Book Awards. Real Madrid finished second to Barcelona in the 2005-06 La Liga, albeit with a large 12-point gap, and only reached the last 16 in the Champions League after losing to Arsenal. The season also marked the end of an era for the club as Perez resigned his post as president in January 2006, with Vicente Baluta named as replacement on an interim basis until the end of the season. Beckham's involvement with Major League Soccer MLS began while he was still a Real Madrid player, when it was confirmed on the 11th of January 2007 that he would be leaving Madrid in 6 months to join MLS side LA Galaxy. The speculation about his new contract in Madrid was thus put to an end, and the following day Beckham's official press conference was held in conjunction with the 2007 MLS Super Draft. In 2008, Beckham's success in the England national team under Fabio Capello led to speculation that he might return to Europe to retain match fitness for the World Cup qualifying matches in 2009. On the 30th of October 2008, AC Milan announced that Beckham was to join them on loan from the 7th of January 2009. Despite this and other speculation, Beckham made it clear that the move in no way signaled his intent to leave MLS and announced his intent to return to the Galaxy in time for the start of the 2009 season in March. Many at Milan, both within and outside of the club, expressed serious reservations about the transfer, with it considered by some players no more than a marketing move. During January and February 2011, ahead of the 2011 MLS season, Beckham trained with Tottenham Hotspur. Rumors in the media claimed that the club were in talks with the Galaxy to sign the player on loan, but according to Spurs manager Harry Redknapp, the move was blocked by Galaxy, who wanted a full final season from their number 23. As a result, he ended up only training with the club as he had done with Arsenal 3 years earlier. With Beckham playing in the center of midfield, the Galaxy won the 2011 LS Cup. On the 31st of January 2013, ahead of the transfer deadline, it was announced that Beckham would be undergoing a medical with Paris Saint-Germain ahead of a potential move to the Ligue 1 side. Beckham signed a 5-month deal with the club later later that afternoon and confirmed that his entire salary during his time in Paris would be donated to a local children's charity. His PSG debut came on the 24th of February 2013, when he came off the bench in the 76th minute in a Ligue 1 home match against Marseille. This made him the 400th player in the history of the club. On the 12th of May 2013, Beckham won a fourth different top-flight winners medal after PSG beat Lyon 10 to claim the Ligue 1 title. On the 16th of May 2013, Beckham announced that he would retire from professional football at the end of that year's French football season. Following his decision to retire at the end of the 2012-13 season, Beckham was given specially designed boots in the colors of the Union Jack to wear in his final game. These boots had the names of his wife and children stitched onto them. On the 18th of May 2013, Beckham was made captain in his final home game against Brest. In this game, Beckham assisted a goal by Matuidi from a corner. Beckham was subbed off after 80 minutes, receiving hugs from his fellow players and manager, as well as a standing ovation from fans. PSG went on to win the game 3-1. On the 20th of March 2008, Beckham was recalled to the England squad by Capello for the friendly against France in Paris on the 26th of March. Beckham became only the fifth Englishman to win 100 caps. Capello had hinted on the 25th of March 2008 that Beckham had a long-term future in his side ahead of crucial qualifiers for the 2010 World Cup. On the 11th of May 2008, Capello included and informed Beckham in his 31-man England squad to face the United States at Wembley Stadium on the 28th of May before the away fixture with Trinidad and Tobago on the 1st of June. Beckham, who wore a pair of golden boots to mark the occasion, was honored before the match by receiving an honorary gold cap representing his 100th cap from Bobby Charlton, and was given a standing ovation from the crowd. He played well and assisted John Terry on the match-winning goal. When substituted at halftime for David Bentley, the pro-Beckham crowd booed the decision. In a surprise move, Capello handed Beckham the captaincy for England's friendly against Trinidad and Tobago on the 1st of June 2008. The match was the first time since the 2006 World Cup that Beckham had skippered England and marked a dramatic turnaround for Beckham. In 2 years, he had gone from being dropped completely from the England squad to being reinstated, though temporarily, as England captain. Throughout his career, Beckham was considered one of the best and most recognizable players of his generation, as well as one of the greatest free-kick exponents of all time. Predominantly right-footed, his range of passing, vision, crossing ability, and bending free kicks enabled him to create chances for teammates or score goals, attributes that saw him excel as a right-winger despite his lack of significant pace. Unlike his Manchester United teammate Ryan Giggs on the opposite wing, Beckham preferred to beat players through his movement and passing rather than going at opponents directly with the ball. He formed a strong partnership on the right side of the pitch with fullback Gary Neville during his time with the club, due to their understanding, as well as Neville's ability to get forward with his overlapping runs, get on the end of Beckham's passes, and deliver crosses into the box whenever the latter was heavily marked.